All right, I think we are live. Oh my gosh, here we are, guys. I am so excited to be here back in my studio. Yay! If you are watching this live, that means that you are inside the locker room, that you are inside our free Facebook group, and that's how you are seeing this. If you are watching the recording on YouTube and you want to join the Facebook group, then and you want to be able to participate live and ask questions and give feedback and all that good stuff, then of course the link will be below, and I will show you more all about that in just a second. But before I forget, what I wanted to say is it was my birthday. I had my birthday 2 days ago, and it was pretty exciting. Good morning, whoever that was who didn't give ECAM permission. Anyway, so I had my birthday. It was a pretty significant because it marked the 5-year anniversary of arguably my 50th birthday was arguably the worst day of my life. It marked the beginning of the end of my marriage, and on September 1st, so that was August 16th was my birthday. On September 1st was when my husband decided that he didn't want to be married anymore, and I got a big gut punch and had to completely rebuild my life, and that was how Crystal Clear Cash Flow and Fast and Easy QBO got started, and it's just been an amazing journey. I hate to say, I have to think about this sometimes because I don't want to be grateful for my divorce, but if it hadn't happened, then I would never have built this organization. I would never have built these courses. I would never have, and I've impacted now over 4,000 students have taken our courses, and and that never would have happened if he had not had a midlife crisis. So maybe at some point I should give you guys his address, and you guys can send thank you notes to to him, because if it weren't for his choices, then we wouldn't be here today. Anyway, the reason I bring up my birthday is not because it's not because of the whole story, but I decided this year that instead of making a wish on my birthday, I'm going to grant wishes on my birthday. So if you are in the Facebook group, there have been several posts. There are 3 posts this week asking for your wishes. I'm going to tomorrow, Saturday, at some random point in the day, I'm going to hop on and grant probably more than one wish. So as I'm seeing these things come in. So if you haven't yet posted in the Facebook group what your wish is, then do it before tomorrow, because tomorrow morning when I wake up, I'm not taking any more new ones. I'm only going to look at the ones that have already been posted, and I'm going to figure out whose wish is going to be granted. So, all right, so let's go back to our introduction of who we are, what we're doing, and all of that good stuff, and get diving into some hands-on practice with QuickBooks Online. So this is not what I wanted to show you. This is what I wanted to show you right here. So as I mentioned, we are streaming live inside of our Facebook group. It is called the QBO Gym Locker Room, and we are dedicated to hands-on practice, hands-on practice, hands-on practice in QuickBooks Online. So when you go into the locker room, you will see, and of course mine looks a little bit different here because I am an administrator, but you will see up at the top these featured posts. Okay, so these featured posts, there is a one right here. Usually I don't have, whoop, I don't wish that. Usually we don't have this one right here. This one is the featured post that I put, that is, you can post on here your wish. or any of the other posts that I've done this week asking for it. So I just posted, this was the first one, so I put there. But this right here is, it says, welcome to the locker room. It's the welcome post, and there is a link to the our exercises. And so when you click that link, you're going to come to a spreadsheet that looks like this, and there are several tabs down below. I realize that my head is in the way for this first one, but this is getting started. These are some super basic exercises if you are brand new to QBO. By the way, if you don't know how to get your free QBOA account, or you don't know how to access the sample company, which you can do for free to play around, then you can click those links below. All right, that's for the recording. Okay, so all of that. If you guys are watching live, you should have that all figured out. Okay. So we've got ones that are from our basic course, ones that are from our advanced course. I will talk about the QBO gym in just a minute. We've got QBO, we've got Pro Advisor challenges. Some of them I still need to work on, but we've got Pro Advisor challenges. These are the ones that actually Intuit provides, but we like to put them in our signature format so that they're easier to follow along. And then we have some that are retired, that are, previously used to be, you had to know that on the test, and or like they're from their recertification or something like that. And, they're not required for the test anymore, but hey, why not practice? And I just realized that my streaming thing, okay. All right, somebody says, thank you for granting wishes. Well, you're welcome. I haven't granted any yet. We'll see what happens tomorrow. All right, so anyway, then we have also now, in all of these exercises are free just for being part of the locker room. We also have a subscription product called the QBO Gym, and the QBO Gym. Oops, you're not supposed to see that. There we go. This one, the QBO Gym, looks like this, and it is like my husband likes to say, it's like a flight simulator for bookkeepers. If you have imposter syndrome, a lot of people take the test and they're like, well, I can take the test, but I don't really know, I don't really feel confident being a bookkeeper. Well, that's why we have the QBO Gym, is to help simulate, like to give you real world experience. Every month, you get exercises that simulate life as a bookkeeper. So you're going to have this fictitious big business owner, and you're going to sit down and you're going to work on his books for that month. And every month you get to do that. So this is what, and I wanted to just spend a time talking about this, because some of you that are watching already have the gym, and you might not realize what all of these different features in here. So when you first log into the gym, you go to a place that looks like that. There's my face. Yep. And so I did this cute little, I don't know, I thought it was cute. This cute little intro about, working out. It's all on this workout theme, right? So, but then, and then you do this stuff, and you get exercises, and you can go to the different things. Once you have done the exercises, they disappear. And so some people think that they can't, go back to them, or they have to do them in order. But if you click this right here where it says all workouts, then it pulls together you can see every issue and every section and what's included in all of them. So so you can look through that, and you can just pick the ones you want. The way that it works is it always has these 4 sections. We start with warm-ups. These are when you very first sit down to work on Craig's books. Craig being our fictitious business owner, you sit down, and the first thing you do is you say, okay, what money has come in, what money has come out, let's process the bank feeds. So we do that, and then the cardio section is all the things that Craig has asked you to do. So Craig has asked you to send out invoices, he's asked you to pay bills, that kind of thing. And then we have the strength training is always focused on a particular feature of QuickBooks Online that we see how it actually would work in Craig's business. And then the last section is reconciling the accounts and running reports. And often it's related to the strength training that you just did. So anyway, so that's what that is. And so the last couple of, let me just go back to, because you don't need to be seeing that the whole time. Okay, so the last couple of times that we have gotten together for the live stream, we have gone over, we started with classes. We started with locations. Locations were on my mind because it's a topic that people really struggle with on the advanced certification test. And the reason that they struggle is because there are two different types of locations. There are, so Craig is your fictitious business owner, right? So Craig's customers may have multiple locations, and then Craig himself may have multiple locations. So when you're taking the advanced test, you have to make sure that you understand, like when they're asking the question, are they talking about Craig's customers or are they talking about Craig? So a couple weeks ago, we talked about locations because I really wanted to help you understand the difference between that. Then we talked about classes, which is a kind of a related topic on how you can identify a particular transaction as belonging to a group. And so what the example that we did was residential versus commercial for Craig's clients, okay? Now today, so all of that, and that was covered in the gym. That was the July issue of the gym. And this month for August, we are going to be in the gym. We're talking about tags. The focus is on tags. And I just felt like this was a perfect, perfect segue from the classes and locations to tags, because it's important to understand how tags are different than classes. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into that. Now, let me put my screen back on. Okay, so this is the gym. Let me go back to our exercise thing here. Now, we don't have a, you don't get the exercises, the gym exercises for free, like as a member of the locker room. But you can look and see what every issue is, what is covered. These are all of the scenarios. And so you can think, oh, well, maybe the gym is for me. Maybe I should learn how to do this thing. Okay. So, so that is the spreadsheet. And then what was I going to say? Oh, and so I wanted to mention now for tags, there are free exercises about tags, and there's one in the basic part of the spreadsheet right here, okay, using tags. So you can follow that exercise because tags is on both certification tests, different parts of it, okay. So there's that one, and then for advanced, if I can, it'll come up, okay, right here. Batch tagging. Okay, so there's both exercises, basic and advanced, that you can get for free. Today we're going to go through the exercises that are part of the gym, and because you are on with me live, you get them for free. So Joel is going to post them in the chat as we go through them. If you are watching the recording, then you can get a 7-day free trial of the gym, and the link will be down below so that you can check it out and decide that if it's for you. So here is the gym. We are, oh, and by the way, I forgot, I wanted to mention too, if you click here, if you're a member of the gym and you click here, it's going to open a separate spreadsheet just for the gym. And that will go to, give you the actual links to the exercises. So if you're not in the gym, you just get the first part of this spreadsheet. But if you are in the gym, you have access to this spreadsheet so you can go directly to the exercise without actually having to go find it in the training again. So that might be helpful, okay? So 2 buttons if you're in the gym. All workouts takes you to this page. Click here, takes you to the spreadsheet. Okay, so we are going to do the strength training. So every section of the gym has, it starts with a little animated video that talks about what's happening in Craig's business. Okay, so there's going to be you're going to watch a little video. It's a little 30-second animated video telling some kind of little story. And then after that, there will be a little quiz. And the quiz is really just for you to kind of test yourself to see like how well do you know it already. It doesn't mean anything. It's not related to the test or anything like that. And then after that, you're going to have links to the individual exercises. Okay, so here we're going to click here to practice getting started with tags. Okay, so here we've loaded our exercise. You're going to start in the sample company, getting started with tags. So here is our scenario. Craig has been wondering how profitable his design and build services are versus his landscape maintenance services. Craig thinks he generates more revenue from design build, but he also personally supervises those projects much more closely, so he's concerned about profitability. In addition, Jeff's Jalopies called Craig and asked if he would plow his parking lot this summer. Craig would like to add snow removal services, including plowing and salting, but that's another category of business where profitability needs to be tracked. After all, if he is getting up at 3 a.m. to clear parking lots, it had better be worth his while. Craig asks you if you have any idea how to track these 3 different service lines over time without impacting his profit and loss report. This would be a great use for tags. Let's see how to set them up for him. Okay, so we're going to do all 4 of these exercises in the same sample company session. So when we were having conversations about classes, one of the things that I said is that with classes, if you have the ability to track your either an entire transaction or each individual line in a transaction. Now, if you're talking about income, okay, it's probably fine to be able to track a class by the whole transaction, because one client is more likely it's going to be like either a residential client or a commercial client, okay? But if you're talking about expenses, then, you know, Craig goes to the lumber store and he's going to buy some stuff for his residential clients and he's going to buy some stuff for his commercial clients, all on the same receipt, okay? So for expenses, if you're going to be tracking that by class, then you would want to include that on each line item, okay? So now with tags, what you're going to see is that you do not have the ability to track your individual line items. That's always going to be for the entire transaction. So it may or may not work for your situation. With classes, however, you can only assign 1 class per transaction. So that I just realized that sounded confusing. We'll go over it when you see it. It'll make sense. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and go through this exercise and then but this is really an important thing. The fact that tags, you can have multiple tags, but not multiple on an item, okay? So here we go. So back to the scenario. Let's walk through the exercise, okay? First, we want to make sure the tags functionality is on. It's usually turned on for the sample company, but it may not be turned on for your specific clients. These first few steps assume the tag feature is not on. So basically, we're just going to go through setting up where you would find it. So you're going to go to the gear icon and select Account and Settings. Okay, and then step 2. Okay, there's 2 places. First, you want to go click the Sales tab and click anywhere in the Sales Form Content section. Let me do just that much. Okay, what happened to my account and settings? Okay. Oh my gosh, is this going to be so slow? All right, so here is the sales tab like we talked about. And it's still thinking about it, but if I click it, hopefully it'll think about sales. There we go. Oh my gosh, guys. Sales, there we go. And here's the sales form content section. So I'm going to click that. And then right here, you want that to make sure that that is on. Okay. Okay, next the word tags, click the slide with the on position. Okay, there we go. And then step 3, if we want to make sure that it's for expenses and not just sales, we have to do it in expenses as well. Okay, so that's the expenses tab here. Okay, so we've already done this one. Let's go to the expenses tab. It's already on there. If I had turned it on just now, I would have had to click save, right? But I didn't click save because it was already on. Okay. And then here is the item under bill and expenses right there. Show tag field on expense and purchase forms. Okay, so those are those two things. Okay. All right. So we're going to click save and done. So that's just if you were going to change it. We haven't changed anything, so we don't need to worry about that. We can just exit. Okay. We are now ready to begin tagging. We could start by creating all of the tags first, or we could just create them from the transactions themselves. So we're going to do the latter, and we're going to start with an invoice sent to Sushi by Katsuki. Okay, so here it is. I'm just going to exit because they're already turned on. If I needed to turn them on, obviously I would have to click save and done. Okay, so we're going to go to the Sushi by Katsuki, and we're going to go from the left hand navigation bar. We're going to select sales and then choose invoices. Okay, so here's sales, and then we're going to, sales, and then invoices. There we go. Wake up, sample company. Okay, so then step 5. We're going to find the invoice in the list for Sushi by Katsuki for $80. And we're going to click Edit to open it. Okay. So, nope, not that. Nope, not that. What the heck am I doing? Invoices. Here we go. Sample company is over here. Okay. So we're going to go to Find Sushi by Katsuki, $80, right there, that one. And we're going to click Edit. All right, so we've done that. And then step 6, the Sushi by Katsuki invoice is for weekly gardening, which is considered landscape maintenance as opposed to design, build, or snow removal. The other 2 tags we're going to be using in these exercises. So just below the customer mailing address, click in the white tag field. Okay, so, oh, come on. Edit. What happened to my edit? There we go. Wake up. All right, so where is my tag field? Oh, there it is. It took a minute to pop up. All right, so tag field right there. And notice that there are no tags, so when I click in there, it's going to give me some information about tags. So let's see what my exercise says. It says we're going to type landscape maintenance in the box. Okay. And if you are familiar with QBO, you're going to be pretty familiar with this, is if I type something it doesn't recognize, it'll give me like this plus add. Do I want to do that? And so I'm going to click plus add. Okay, so this one is I just created it. Now it's asking me if I want it to be in a group. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Note that you will be asked if you want to set up a tag group, but we'll do that later. For now, we're going to ignore that prompt. Okay, so step 7. In the lower right-hand corner, click Save and Close. Okay, right here. Save and close. By the way, I noticed today in my own actual real live account, I noticed that this button no longer says save and send or save and close or whatever. It just says save. And if I want to see this, I have to click the arrow. So that's interesting. Yeah, I wonder, they're always changing stuff on us. But anyway, so we are going to click Save and Close, and I should check. Okay, Gary says, how do I do this? There, Gary. Ooh, can I move you? There we go. Would it be considered a best practice to turn tags on for all clients during initial setup? I actually think it's automatically on already. So I think for brand new clients it's automatically on, and if you needed to turn it off, you could for brand new clients. If you have an existing, like a client that has an existing account, like an older account, you would have to actually go on and do that. And I don't know, I don't know that I would turn it on for everybody. I would have a conversation with the business owner and see like what they want to track. At 9 times out of 10, they don't know what they want to track. And so you have to kind of guide them in that, and ask them, you know, what's important to them and that kind of stuff. So no, I don't know. Me personally, I don't know that I would turn it on for everybody, but somebody else might be different. All right. So going back to our exercise. So what did we do? We closed that. And so we just added that first tag. You're now finished with creating your first tag, landscape maintenance, and tagging your first invoice. Next, you will create 2 more tags and create a tag group. Please remember to complete the next exercise in the same session of the sample company. So I'm going to close that. And now I go back to my strength training here, and I get to click here, boom, boom, boom. And I don't know if you can hear, but I get a little ka-ching, and I get a little, you know, I get points, and it's all gamified, and, you know, people tell me it's super fun and like doing a video game. So anyway, so that was the first one. Now we're going to do the second one right here. So Joel, you can go ahead and post that second exercise in the group for those of you who do not have the gym and are with us live. All right, so we have to remember to use the same sample company. And here's our scenario. We've already set up a tag for landscape maintenance in the previous exercise, but Craig also wants us to track revenue expenses for 2 other services, design and build and snow removal. So we'll need to set up those tags too. To compare these services, we will also need to set up a tag group. Grouping these 3 tags together will allow you to easily run reports comparing the 3 services. Okay, so we're going to go next. So now we're going to go from the left-hand navigation bar, we're going to click banking, and then we're going to select tags. So notice, so here I am, if I go to banking, tags is actually where, it's actually one of these banking, one of the tabs in the banking section. There is also, you may have noticed when we were creating the invoice, there was a little link that said manage tags. So that's in a bunch of different places. Okay, so you can already see the one that was a money in transaction, we already have it set up here. Okay, so we can see already that we have one for landscape maintenance, and you can see right down here, and it says 1 transaction. Okay, all right, so that was step 1. Step 2, look what I just said. Notice you can already see it's almost like I wrote these guys. Although, you know, I do have a team, but I have read through them and reported and provided feedback and learned these intimately. So anyway, so you can already see the landscape maintenance tag we created when we edited Sushi by Katsuki's invoice for $80. Now we're going to set up the other 2 tags. Okay, so set up the design build tag next by creating on new and then select tag. Okay, and then a window's going to pop up. Okay, so right here I'm going to click new, and we're going to select tag. Okay, now I'm going to put in the new tag name. So we'll go back to our exercise. we're going to say snow removal. And, okay, and put that in there and click save. And then step 4, now that we have one more tag, it makes sense to set up a tag group. A group will allow you to see information about all the tags in the group at once. Let's call a tag group called services. Okay, so here, oh, I should follow the instruction. Okay, click on new and then select tag group from the drop down menu. Okay, here we go. So we're right here. We're going to select new, select tag group. Okay, and then what do we say? It's going to be called services, right? Let's see, step 5, in group name, type services, and then click save. Okay, save. So now I can add tags to this group right here. Okay, you'll be given the option to add a tag to the group, and in the next step we will add our final tag, design and build. Okay, so in the tag name box, type design/build, and then click on add. Let me just copy it. You know, whenever I try and type on a live stream, that's when my typing is the worst. So it's always better to copy and paste. And you can do that too in the exercises. We weren't always able to do that. That was a feature we added, you know, a couple months ago, and it still kind of thrills me just a little bit. All right, so now we're going to say add. All right, woohoo. And why do I keep doing that? Okay. And let's see, in the lower right-hand corner, we're going to click done. Okay, but notice that I created services, but landscape maintenance and snow removal aren't in that group yet. Okay, so step 7. And now you can see we have a services group that includes the design and build tag, but we need to add the landscaping maintenance tag and the snow removal tag to the services group. Maybe I should just read my exercises, because I always seem to just say what's next. All right, to the right of the landscape maintenance tag, next to run report, you're going to click the little down arrow, and on the menu that appears, we're going to click edit. Okay, so right here, so landscape maintenance, can you guys see that? Okay, all right, we're going to click there. We're going to click edit tag, and to the right of the group box, click the down arrow, select services, and then click save. Okay, so right here, so we can just add it there, click save, and then I'm supposed to edit the tag and do the same thing, but what happens if I just check this box? Nope, can't do it. Never mind, don't want to delete. I was just curious. So we're going to edit the tag, and we're going to add it to the group, services. Okay? All right, so we added snow removal, so now we're done. Before going on, let's confirm that you now have all 3 tags in the services group. The number next to, this is a typo, Joel, right here. So we're in strength 2, step 9. This word text needs to come out. It should just say the number next to the group name shows how many tags are in the group. Okay, let's look at that. Okay, so right here it says services, and that number 3 tells us that there are 3 services or 3 tags in that group. Okay, all 3 tags, so if we click the down arrow, then all 3 tags should appear right there, that little arrow there. And there we go. But you notice there's only 1 transaction so far that actually has a tag. Okay, so that's where we are with that exercise. All right, so now we're done with this one. We're going to go back to our, this is, if we're in the gym, this is what we do. We click the thing and it goes ching, and we get our little points. I don't actually get points because this is a test account, but you doing it actually in the gym will actually get points and badges and fun stuff. All right, so then now we're going to practice batch tagging money in and money out transactions because we only have so far that one transaction and we added it directly in the transaction, which you can do, but maybe there's another way if we're trying to do a whole bunch at once. Okay, so where is our exercise? Okay, remember to do this in the same version of the sample company. So far we have set up 3 tags. For Craig, we can tag new invoices as we create them, but we may also want to tag other pre-existing invoices and expenses to give Craig a better idea of where things stand for the year so far. Tagging each invoice and expense one at a time will take too long. So fortunately, Craig provided you with a list of customers and vendors and the tags that should be applied to the transactions associated with them. You will need the list Craig provided to help determine the proper tag for each transaction. Prior to completing this exercise, click the button under the animated video in the strength training section to download it. Okay, so if I go back to, here we are in the gym. Remember I told you here's the little video, and then underneath the video, because we can't put it anywhere else, so this is where it goes, is a little button that allows you to download the transactions. Okay, if you are on the call right now, live, okay, and you are not a member of the gym, email support@fastandeasyqbo.com if you would like us to send you a copy of this, because if you're not in the gym, you can't download it. Okay, so send an email. We won't be able to send it right on the call, but you'll have these links, so we'll send it to you afterwards, and then you can use this to do it yourself if you want. Okay, so here are the design and build customers, the landscape maintenance customers, that he doesn't have any snow removal yet, remember he hasn't done it yet, and the design and build materials. Now, notice that he has marked these right here as customers. Okay, so these are the design and build customers. Amy's Bird Sanctuary, Cool Cars. You cannot tag a customer. You can't go into the customer profile and say this customer is a, whatever, design and build customer. Can't do it, okay? And the same is true for classes. You can't go in and say this customer, you can identify a customer type, but that's not the same as a class. So just be aware of that. Even though this list here is for customers, it's these customers' transactions. It's not the customer profile itself, okay? All right, so that's that. What did we just do? Where are we? Okay, so we downloaded this, and now we're going to use it to do the rest of this exercise. So step 1, we're going to go to that the banking center and then click tab, tags, which we're already there. Oops. Okay, and then step 2, okay, right above the tag and tag group section, you're going to click on the word see all untagged transactions. Okay, so right here, see all untagged transactions. Okay, what just happened? Hold on. Okay, step 3. All right, why? Let's tag some of Craig's invoices first, and then in a future step, we will tag some expenses. Craig is giving you a list. Okay, wait, hold on. Why? Oh, there we go. It just took a minute to come up. Phew! I thought something was horribly wrong. All right, so here's all the transactions. Let's go back. Okay. So above the list of transactions, we're going to click filters, and then we're going to choose money in to only see the money in transactions. Okay. So here's filters, type, I'm going to select only the money in transactions, and we're going, it gives us a year right here, and that's plenty for the sample company. Okay, so while that's thinking, okay, step 4, using Craigslist as a reference, tag the first 4 transactions that correspond to design and build. And the way that you do that is to the immediate left of each money in transaction that corresponds to a design build customer. Click the check boxes. Okay, for this exercise, let's just select the first 4. So that's just going to be, who do we have here? Mark Cho, Sonnenschein, Gita, and Wise Cop. So that should be, well, here's another thing. Did you know if you clicked on the picture, which I did accidentally just now, but if you click on the picture, it'll make it big so you can see it better. All right, so let's see, Mark Cho, Sonnenschein, Gita, and Wise Cop. Let's see, does that match here? Here's Wise Cop, Sonnenschein, here's Gita, and who else do we have? Mark Cho. See on the list here? Yeah, Mark Cho right there. Okay, so we're just going to do, oops, oh my gosh, I can't keep myself straight. Okay, so Mark Cho, Sonnenschein, Gita, and Wise Cop. Okay, so that's all we're going to do for right now. We've got a black bar that shows up. Okay, in the black bar that appears at the top, click Update Tags and then select Add Tags. Okay, so right here, we're going to do Add Tags. Okay, step 5, in the Tags window that appears to the right, in the Tags field, start typing Design Build. Okay, so that will pop up the list, okay, or I could just select it right here. But if you have a giant list, then you can also just type in the same way that you can type, you know, for anything. You can start looking for it. But here's Design Build. Okay, so we select a Design Build, and then we're just going to click Apply. Okay. So now we're going to go back to here, step 6. Now use the list Craig provided to tag some landscape maintenance transactions. To the immediate left, same corresponds to the landscape. We're just going to do the first 4. Okay. All right. So here we have Ron Donahue, Sushi, Red Rock Diner, 2 Red Rock Diner ones. Okay. So if I go back here, Ron Donahue, Red Rock Diner, Sushi, so you can see how if you're using this, then you could follow along. Okay, so Ron Donahue, Red Rock Diner. Wouldn't it be nice if this were actually by the customer instead of by the individual transaction? But oh well, future dreams. Okay, so who did we say? I know I said there were 2. Did we say sushi? I thought we said sushi. Let me see. Oh yeah, red sushi right above. Well, that's interesting. Mine doesn't have that. There's a sushi. Is it $80? Sushi invoice for $80, yeah. Okay. All right, so we're going to select Update Tags. We're going to add tags just like we did before. And these are the landscape maintenance people. Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so we did the same thing. We clicked there. We selected Update Tags. Okay, and the same before, we've got landscape maintenance. So now we're going to go to Apply. Okay, and then step 8. Now that you've tagged the money in transactions, let's tag some of Craig's money out transactions. We're going to change the filter so that it's money out. So let's do that. Here's the filter. I'm going to change this to money out. And click Apply. Okay, step 9. Now again, we're going to use the same list. On Craigslist, any expenditures at Hicks Hardware. Okay, As before, to the immediate left, we're going to do this, and we're just going to do these first 4. So Hicks Hardware, Tanya's, and 2 more Hicks Hardware. Hicks Hardware, Tanya, and 2 more Hicks Hardware. Okay, you should be familiar with this. Update tags, we're going to add tags. Notice, okay, this is what I was saying before about the classes. This is important for you to understand, is that for the classes, you can have a different class for each line item, which is important more so for expenses than it is for income. Okay, so for expenses, he goes to whatever, Hicks Hardware, and some of the stuff he buys is for some of these people and some of the, for other things. You cannot do that with tags, so that's a little bit of a limitation. And we'll talk about more limitations with tags in the next lesson. All right, so what are we doing here? We are doing, what did I say? I don't know, because I'm ahead of myself. All right, we're going to do design and build. Okay, design and build. There, click apply. Okay. And now that we've tagged all our transactions, remember Craig hasn't started snow removal services, so he doesn't have any transactions for that yet. Let's return to the main tag page. Above the headline Transactions by Tag, click the All Tags link to return to the main tag screen. Okay, so we're going to go, because this, remember, this is all of our untagged. And you can see here is the filter for untagged. Okay. So now we're just going to clear all those filters. We could do that by clicking these X's, or we could do that by clicking all tags, and then we just go to this screen here, which does not look correct. There we go. It's thinking about it. It's adjusting. It's adjusting while we are talking. All right. Here we go. Now, isn't this weird? Look at this. This we has a number, but this says 0, and previously we looked at it and it said 80. So why did that change? I don't know, maybe the exercise will tell us why that changed all of a sudden. Now let's take a minute to review how the tag screen has changed. In the lower right-hand corner, note that you have tagged 13 transactions, 12 in this exercise plus 1 from the first exercise. In the money out section, you can see the total dollars spent on design build materials. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Here we go. Here's the total money spent. This is money out, so these are our expenses. This is, we just added design build ones. You'll notice that there's 13 transactions here. But why does this say 0? I should quiz you guys. I should ask if does anybody know the answer? Or I'd be able to know who is in the gym and has already done this exercise so that they know why that is. Okay, we're going to find out in just a minute. All right, so why aren't they showing here? Step 12. It's because the money in tile is currently set to include only transactions that are using ungrouped tags. Okay, let's look at here, right here, ungrouped tags. Okay, so if I click this, I can say, oh, I don't want the ungrouped ones, I want the services ones. Okay, and once I select that, you can see that a little bit better. Okay, you see the money finished. The total in is now displayed. You can change the date range. So right here it says this year, but you can change the date range. This is the total in. These are each of the individual tags. All right, so let's move on to reporting, because reporting is another, I don't know, it's not as flexible as classes. Again, when you're consulting with there's just so many possibilities. You have to think through what is going to work best for your client. Okay, so I have 3 minutes left. I think it will take me a little bit longer than 3 minutes, but not hopefully that much. So stick with me. Last week we ended early, which is I think the first time in history that I ever ended early. So I'm going to borrow some time from last week. Okay, so there we did it. Come on. All right, now we're going to do this last exercise, which is reporting using tags. Okay, so where did I just, oh my gosh, guys, did I just close my sample company? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys. I closed my sample company. Oh my gosh, I closed my sample company. And now I don't have those transactions. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I just did that. Okay, well, okay, so some good news is, number one, you notice down at the bottom here where it says no video yet, is that we do have somebody on our team, Jen, who goes through and she records each of these exercises and will include them in the right here when you click no. It's right here. It says no video yet, but on the exercises that she does, it'll say video. So she will go through and she will record. Oh my gosh, this is so awful. The last part of this whole group of exercises. So that's the one piece of that's the one piece of good news, is you will get a recording of it. The other piece of good news is that we are going to end on time because I didn't get it finished. Now, we had a question here. Hold on. Tasha asked, let me put this up. Okay, can you please distinguish when you would use classes, locations, or tags? I am still unsure. Which one would I use if I want to see all details, P&L and balance sheet information by each partner in a business? That is a really, really loaded question. I'm sorry that I'm not going to be able to add it I'm not going to be able to answer it on the live stream. But let me just go through and because we've spent several weeks talking about, like not last week, but the week before, we talked about classes, and then we spent 2 weeks before that talking about locations. So that's a really loaded question. But what I will show you, no, I can't even, because I'm not even in the sample company anymore. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm so embarrassed. I can't, like, it will take even too long to now pull up the sample company to even show you anymore, to show you just some click around things. You can use locations, classes, and tags all together on a transaction. You just have to keep straight in your mind how they are used differently. And locations, remember, comes in 2 different flavors. So the key thing that I wanted to point out today, I'm so sorry that I closed the sample company, is that, and I'm not, if I were doing it on Zoom, I could have somebody else share their screen. I can't even do that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, but the key thing that I wanted to point out, and do those exercises. You can do the free exercises. You can do the exercises in the gym for August and July. You can see the differences between locations and classes. The key thing about the tags, let me just tell you real quick, the thing about the tags is you can have as many tags on on one transaction as you want. It's at the transaction level, okay? So it's not going to be individual items on a transaction, but the whole transaction, and you can have 50 tags. So maybe you have a tag group like we have here for different types of services. Maybe you have a tag group for sales. Maybe you have a tag group for a specific event. So you could use it in without having projects, for example. You could tag a particular event. I personally, for my own business, use tags for trips. So if I am going on, because I travel to different conferences and whatever, so I'm going to see, I'm going to track all of my expenses for that particular trip. which is going to be different, vendors, that airline and the hotel, and, if I had to get car service or, whatever. So, so in that way, tags are much more flexible. And embarrassingly, since I can't do this last exercise, the problem with tags, and this is what everybody complains about, is that you can't really report on them. There are only a couple of reports that allow you to use them. There is, what we were going to go over today, you can profit and loss by tag, and you can do a transaction list by tag group, but that's really it. I mean, there's really only 2 or 3. You can't filter by tag on most of the report stuff. So that's a huge limitation. The other thing, Tasha, related to your question, is that it's not really it's not on the balance sheet. So you can't run, and we talked about this last time. You can't run a balance sheet report on for these different tags. It's only affecting profit and loss, income and expenses. So. All right, so we are going to wrap it up. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. All right, let's see. Nancy says the same thing. I did the same thing, closed my sample company too. Oh my gosh, because you were just following. See, my goal with these live streams is for you to follow along, and so you can actually do it. I'm all about actually doing it. And my goal is for you guys to follow along. So if I make a mistake and you follow along the mistake, I guess that I guess that I have achieved my goal. Oh my gosh, so embarrassing, guys. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it. Don't forget, if you are in the locker room, to post your wish. I'm going to be granting some wishes tomorrow, unannounced. So I'm just going to pop up and I'm going to say, woohoo, these are the winners. And your wish might be granted. So anyway, that's it for me. You guys have a fantastic weekend. And I will see you next time. Bye.